What up, y'all? It's TYR, and today we're gonna be talking about the alleged scrap story of Pokemon X and Y's sequel, or the original Pokemon Z. This is something really big on the internet. I've never actually looked into it. Apparently, back in 2014, a leaker showed up on 4chan and revealed what was supposed to happen after Pokemon X and Y. But now that we have Pokemon Legends ZA announced, we can see just what happened in 2014 in this leak, because it's talked about everywhere as if it has credibility. I don't know how it has credibility, but we're gonna look at it and we're gonna be able to see if it could compare to something that might happen in Legends ZA. So yeah, it was posted on March 4th, 2014, so it's been 10 years. And let me just start off saying, I don't trust this goon, alright? This looked like fanfic territory, where you just really want to share your fanfic ID on 4chan, but it's talked about so much, I gotta see what people are talking about. Hi, call me XY Cider, and I've come with some interesting information. How much can I cut out? Why did you have to write all this? And I've come today with some interesting information regarding development content of X and Y. I've gathered from sources within Game Freak, some currently working there, some former members who went on to other projects after X and Y, planned content and elements for X and Y early on that were cut due to time constraints or dropped for other reasons. Holy frick, let's just scroll down to this. The first real solid draft of X and Y's plotline had a strong paranormal bent and was quite unlike anything seen in Pokemon involving actual aliens. I instantly regret making this video. If you go online, people talk as if this is fact. Like, this is actually what was scrapped from X and Y. The main plot would involve Team Flare, whose appearance was originally intended to bring to mind classic Men in Black type characters. Aliens posing as weird, unorthodox humans, slowly overtaking Kalos society and plotting to destroy the Earth. Bro, how early of a draft did you see of X and Y? It's like you're the man on the toilet that wrote X and Y. Sycamore and Lysandra at one point were the same character, the former being a scientist who was exposed to a space rock, with the Lysandra half being when the alien leader takes control of him. Look, also had a big role investigating the aliens. Bro, there's actually no shot. Okay, you know what? We're not even gonna be able to get through this whole leak, but I actually want to go through it so I'm educated on this credible leak that has surfaced. Alright, so if you look at Team Flare, right? Yeah, they still are the Men in Black types. This is an organization after money. That's what Team Flare ultimately ended up being. But they're saying Team Flare was supposed to originally be aliens, blending in as humans. Wow. I mean, listen, I can see what you're saying. Look at the hairstyles, right? That would be a real interesting idea for a game figure. It's what we were expecting from the Ultra Beast. Like, Pheromosa was actually Lucami, so she's like an alien that poses as a human, something like that. And so you could think, since they scrapped it here, they decided to reuse the idea for Sun and Moon, and then they scrapped it again. And that's how you got the Ultra Beast the way they are. With, you know, Nihilego lookalike Lily. You know, it could make sense. So here's when you first run into Team Flare in Glittering Cave. It kind of could look like aliens who are on this planet doing things, and you just run into them in very weird locations, like this cave here. So you could take this to like the Dragon Ball Z scale, where they're from a different planet, they want to come to this planet, freaking harvest the life energy out of it, the ultimate weapon, which I guess in a different form would be able to take the life of the planet itself. You know, it's the classic plant the giant tree on the planet scenario. Plant the Yggdrasil. It could be an explanation to why Kalos has random Norse elements to it. Like, the point was these aliens were supposed to come to Kalos and plant the Yggdrasil, get all the life out of it, suck the planet dry, and leave. And so creatures like Xerneas and Yveltal are maybe born from these same aliens that came to Kalos a long time ago. How am I being indoctrinated? I'm just giving it a fighting chance. And so we could talk a bit more about this. So Lysander, unusually knowing about the events of 3,000 years ago, this king that made this ultimate weapon that used life and death energy, it could be talked about as if Lysander has alien stuff in his mind. What were they saying Lysander was? The Lysander half of Sycamore being when the alien's leader takes control of him. Wow. Freaking help me help you. Forget about this whole aliens leader crap. Let's say Lysander was like the leader of the aliens, because you can't have Team Flare come down. You beat Lysander and we leave from X and Y story and there's still the alien that controlled them in the sky, right? So let's just make it so Lysander is the alien leader. So you could have something where Lysander is aware of the events of 3,000 years ago in the Ancient King, because the events surrounding AZ making that weapon actually has its roots in the same type of aliens that came down 3,000 years ago. So they come down again and want to get what they started, something like that. Whoa. Here we go. Next point. Also, I'm sorry, like, the screen is so wide. This is the only archive of this that exists. AZ was also intended to be one of those aliens who had traveled to Earth in the past in order to destroy it due to the violent war that was occurring. Freaking mind your business in the sky. He came down to destroy Earth. But AZ had a change of heart meeting Floette. Living in exile on Earth is a wonder as he aged slower than normal humans. The plot would have had Team Flare searching for him since he holds the key to the super weapon that can destroy Earth like in the final version. But in this version was the flower the special Floette holds, as the two are not separated in this version but remain friends. I'm seeing what you're trying to put down here. You're giving a whole other story that X-Y was supposed to be, and they stripped the potato and we got a whole different story. Not even a story relating to it anymore. Just has like the same characters. So they kept the cast, changed the entire filling, is what they're saying. So AZ is an ancient alien that has a long lifespan. And so that was the original reason he was going to be this 3,000-year-old wanderer. And so he's an alien that came to Earth already with a weapon, the ultimate weapon, planning to destroy it. So he comes down, and before he's about to destroy it, he meets Floette, grows attached to it, and I guess in this case Floette isn't killed. So AZ just lives with Floette and wanders together with Floette for 3,000 years after burying the weapon because he didn't want to destroy Earth. So 3,000 years later, the aliens in the form of Team Flare come back down and are like, where's our goon? He's an alien, he can still live. It's been 3,000 years. And so they're looking for both AZ and Floette, whose the flower is the key. So the aliens really have to wait 3,000 years for this? They didn't like take a bogey break and look and Earth is still there and come down instantly? See, I like it. I see what you're trying to do, but doesn't it sound like every other story? We've seen this again and again. Superman, Goku, a man who comes to destroy Earth and then chooses not to. But going by this idea, Floette's flower could be made to make more sense because it is in the shape of the ultimate weapon, right? So maybe it originally had that design because it was the controller of the ultimate weapon. You use that to make the ultimate weapon do what you want. We're reading one more point of this and then I'm done with this. Xerneas and Yveltal were also alien life forms initially and were basically living super weapons, as opposed to being the power source for the weapon like in the final version. Well, why are they here? Why the frick are they on Earth? Oh, AZ brought Xerneas and Yveltal with them when he came down to Earth? That is pretty badass. An X super weapon and a Y super weapon. I don't know if they had the same power as, you know, the X weapon would be able to zap life into someone and the Y weapon would be able to suck. Because the theme of life and death doesn't seem to exist in this version of the story. But whatever, there were weapons AZ came down with, and then he let them go or something. And so they're just in the wild and existing as worshipped legendaries for 3,000 years. Works out. The Megastones were also of alien origin. Pieces of AZ's spaceship that spread across Earth when he landed. What are you talking about? I could do a better fanfic than this. But I'm also interested because the best part about leaks, or ones that are entertained, is you technically can't tell until the end if it really is fake. You never know if this really was the first of a billion drafts of what X and Y was supposed to be. But how can we make sense of creatures like Charizard, Tyranitar, Aggron? Pieces of AZ's ship fall down and they're able to Mega Evolve, unless an early version of Mega Evolution was them just getting like totem boost stats from this alien shipwreck pieces. And the original idea for Mega Evolutions were much more alien in appearance. Oh, so Charizard would get like one distorted horn, a giant green eye, and look very distorted. Oh, that's a pretty fun idea. So it's mutated versions, and that could flow better with the evil nature that was given to Mega Evolution after. You know, describing like the Sun and Moon entries, they describe it like it doesn't exactly mix well with the Pokemon, causes things that aren't good to happen, like Glalie. That's the only example really I can give Glalie. But the other ones talk about how it makes the Pokemon unhappy and all. So something like this could make sense. I guess I'm imagining all the Pokemon just get like a random tentacle coming out of them. So Mega Evolutions were much more alien in appearance, with elements akin to Deoxys, suggesting he hailed from the same planet. Oh, Team Flare and AZ, Lysandra being from the Deoxys planet. Man, what's weird about this is only in hindsight would you say, yeah, let's incorporate Deoxys into the story, because one idea people have is that when AZ blasted the ultimate weapon, it hit the Deoxys meteor, and that's what caused Mega Evolution, right? But you know what's weird about this post is, this post was from before Auras came out. Not only that, it's from before Auras was even announced, because Auras was announced May 7th. This is from March 4th, so a whole 2 months before. So he didn't even know Auras elements could be tied to the Mega Evolution lore. That would be a real fun idea, to talk about where Deoxys came from. And Team Flare being, I guess, the same race as Deoxys, right? This virus alien that when they come on Earth, they mock the appearance of humans. F you, bro. Shank that like button, my dudes. There is more to this leak. If y'all want, let me know and I'll cover it. But y'all let me know in the comments, right? What is this? The first draft of what was supposed to be Pokemon X and Y in the story of Kalos. Sycamore, AZ, Aliens, Mega Evolution, Xerneas, Niwalto being weapons. Do you believe it? Because it is something talked about that X and Y was supposed to be a reboot of Pokemon, which it kind of was. Even if it's up for debate, it was, right? It was more of a Pokemon reboot than like Black and White was. It's also the first game that brought the idea of gimmicks, so it's like X and Y starts a whole new era of Pokemon. So maybe a much more convoluted, confusing storyline like this was something they were trying to do. They just want to stretch their creative limbs and make a story like this. And then as they went through the process of developing the games, or just like making a second and third draft, they realized it's unnecessarily overcomplicated. So they took the same cast and just made the story a lot more simple. Split Sycamore into 2 characters, which can also explain why Sycamore is kind of a useless character, doesn't do much in the games, right? Maybe it's because originally his role was supposed to be 1-on-1 with Lysander, and then you're supposed to plot twist at the end that Lysander is Sycamore. My mind has been corrupted by this, but I am interested to see why everyone talks about this leak. So y'all let me know. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.